when he realized that a regular nigga that can rap, but just not the way we do it.
The internet is on fire right now, and at the center of it all is one of hip-hop's most iconic couples, Remy Ma and Papoose. What started as whispers has now exploded into a full-blown meltdown that no one saw coming. Papoose, the man who once held her down through prison, fame, and everything in between, just went public with devastating claims that Remy cheated on him, and not just once. Fans were stunned when Papoose dropped cryptic posts, followed by a savage IG Live that sent shockwaves through the culture. And just hours later, Remy Ma broke down on camera in a way we've never seen before. Emotional, overwhelmed, and spiraling. No PR, no filter, just raw chaos. But here's the twist. Insiders say this meltdown didn't come from guilt. It came from fear. Fear that the truth was finally out. Fear that her empire was crumbling. And fear that Papoose, the rock in her life, was done for good. Was it a mistake? Or a double life finally exposed? Get ready, because what you're about to witness isn't just a scandal, it's the collapse of a power couple. And trust, it only gets worse from here. In a world where celebrity couples crumble under pressure like shattered glass, there was one duo fans thought would never fold: Remy Ma and Papoose. For years, they weren't just a couple. They were a symbol, a blueprint for loyalty, resilience, and real love in a messy industry. Through bars, beefs, and a prison sentence that would have torn most marriages apart, Papoose held her down. He stayed loyal. And when Remy got out, made sure the world remembered the queen by his side. But now, that fairy tale is over. It all began with a blurry Instagram story. The clip wasn't even posted by Remy herself. It was a party gore, filming in a crowded club. But what caught everyone's attention wasn't the party, the lights, or the music. It was Remy standing shoulder to shoulder with a much younger man, laughing, whispering, and smiling in a way that didn't look like business. That man, a rising underground rapper known as Dice Flame, someone who had been quietly signed under Remy's mentorship label for over a year. And now, thanks to that 8-second clip, the world saw something that couldn't be unseen. At first, fans tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's just mentoring him. Papoose trusts her. It's all good. They've been through worse. Let them be. But then within hours, Papoose dropped a post. No photo, no caption. Just black screen text that read, "Loyalty is not seasonal." Cryptic message sent the internet into full-blown meltdown. Blogs lit up. Fans started digging. Within 24 hours, people unearthed more footage of Remy and Dice. A backstage video from a show where Dice is seen with his arm around Remy's waist. Another clip of them arriving together to a Bronx event hours before Papoose showed up alone. Still, there was no official word, no confirmation, no denial. But behind closed doors, insiders were talking. A source close to the couple, someone who allegedly worked on Remy's team, leaked that Papoose had already confronted her about Dice weeks before the video went viral. He was suspicious. She was distant. And when he pressed her about the late-night studio sessions, she reportedly told him, "Mind your business, it's music." That didn't sit right with Papoose. And for the first time in years, he pulled back. According to a close friend of his, Pap started sleeping in a separate room. He stopped showing up to her promo shoots. And more importantly,
By the way, he makes $50,000 per battle, has about 5-6 battles a year, so he makes at least $250,000 a year. You understand? Great credit score. I never seen a person with a credit score like this in my life. Like the richest people that I've been around. But anyway, unlike some people who beg me to add their name to one of my properties and I have a fucking lien on it because they don't pay their taxes.
He started asking questions. Where was she at night? Why was Dice being paid from her personal business account? Why were the dates on her calendar not matching what she was telling him? It was only a matter of time before those questions turned into silence. Then silence turned into rage, and rage Well, it turned into the post that shattered everything. By day 2, Papoose deleted every photo of Remy from his profile. Anniversary tributes, birthday wishes, throwback videos, gone. Even the video of them renewing their vows just last year, deleted without a trace. Fans were stunned. And then came the second post. Love don't hurt, lies do. It was undeniable. Something had gone very wrong. Meanwhile, Remy stayed completely silent. No comments, no tweets, no interviews. But Dice, he wasn't exactly playing it low-key. The day after Papoose's post, he uploaded a photo in Remy's custom Range Rover with the caption, "Ride or die." Literally. The internet exploded. Comments poured in accusing him of being a homewrecker, clout chaser, and the final nail in one of hip-hop's most sacred love stories. But he didn't care. In fact, Dice doubled down, going on Instagram Live and playing one of his unreleased songs with the lyrics, "She don't call you king when I'm around, she just calls me when you're out of town." That line sparked outrage. Fans were furious. How could Remy, the same woman who rapped about loyalty, who defended her man against critics for years, be caught up in a situation like this? The pressure was building. Social media was in full frenzy. Even celebrities were weighing in. Fat Joe posted a single broken heart emoji. Remy's former co-hosts on State of the Culture scrubbed her name from recent episodes. Funk Flex went live and said, "Yo, I got nothing but respect for Remy, but if this is true, I'm disappointed, man. Pap's a real one." And just when fans thought things couldn't get any worse, a screenshot surfaced. Allegedly from Dice's DM, it showed a message from Remy that said, "Let's just keep things quiet for now. I'm trying to protect both of us." Whether real or fake, the screenshot went viral within minutes. And that was the final blow. Because just a few hours later, Remy went live, no filters, no glitz, no rap persona, just a tear-stained face, a shaky voice, and a woman on the edge of collapse. The world had seen her win battles. They'd seen her outbar the best in the game. But now, they were about to see her break live, unfiltered and unguarded. And what she was about to say would change everything. The moment Remy Ma went live, it was as if the entire internet held its breath. No intro music, no polished glam, no entourage in the background. Just Remy, barefaced, eyes swollen from crying, voice trembling as she sat in what looked like a dimly lit closet or dressing room. Behind her, a pile of clothes. In front of her, nearly 90,000 people watching. And she didn't waste time. "So this what we doing now?" she said, her voice cracking. "Y'all want to drag me like I ain't human? Like I ain't got feelings?" Her hand was visibly shaking as she held the phone closer, wiping her face with her sleeve. "I've been quiet because I didn't want to air out my business in front of y'all, K-Math. Now everybody got something to say. Y'all calling me a cheater like I just woke up one day and decided to disrespect my marriage." Then she paused, looked directly into the camera. "Where was all this energy when I was holding my man down for 6 years while locked up? When I sacrificed everything for him?" The comments were flooding in at lightning speed. "This ain't it, Remy. We still rooting for you, sis. But you gotta explain that Dice stuff. What about the Range Rover he was in?" Remy sighed and whispered, "I should have known y'all was gonna twist everything." She started pacing, phone in hand, breathing heavy. Her tone shifted from sadness to frustration. Her eyes were glassy, but her voice had more fire. "Let's talk about loyalty then. Let's talk about how I was loyal to a man who made me feel invisible for years, who turned cold, who started treating me like a roommate instead of a wife." The room went silent. Fans watched, and with that, Remy ended the live abruptly. One blink, one swipe, one final whisper. Y'all wanted the truth. There it is. Within seconds, the clips were everywhere. Twitter, X, TikTok, IG blogs, even YouTube reactors were replaying the meltdown, analyzing her tone, slowing down the audio, and breaking down every word. Commentators went into overdrive. She's hurting. But cheating isn't healing. Pap probably did slip, but two wrongs don't make a right. This is the messiest heartbreak I've seen in years. But here's the kicker. Minutes after the live ended, Dice Flame posted a story. Black screen, white text. One emoji, followed by the caption, "She ain't lie." And that single post took things from scandal to scorched earth. The dust from Remy Ma's emotional Instagram live hadn't even settled when Papoose broke his silence, and it wasn't subtle. No more cryptic quotes, no more quiet unfollows. This time he came with intent. And with proof, he posted a single video.com composed, shot in his living room, sitting in front of a black and white photo of him and Remy from their wedding day. He looked dead into the camera and said, "Since everybody want to play the internet, game, let's play." The tone, ice cold. Papoose didn't yell. He didn't cry. But the hurt in his eyes was unmistakable. And what he said next shook the entire culture. "I was silent out of respect. I didn't expose nothing. I didn't drag nobody. But y'all really think I'm about to let somebody rewrite history and play victim while disrespecting my name? Nah." He then began pulling out printed screenshots. That's right, old school. Paper in hand, dates, timestamps, and messages. One after the other. The first one, a text from Remy dated 3 months ago. "You ain't never home. Don't worry about who I spend time with." Fans froze. That wasn't just emotional distance, that was a warning shot to shift from frustration to defiance. But it didn't stop there. Papoose flipped the page and showed another message, this time between Remy and an unnamed contact saved as F. The message read, "Dice been holding me down more than Pap has in years." Boom, that was it. Fans immediately connected the dots. F was likely someone in Remy's inner circle, maybe her former publicist or one of the stylists who had already unfollowed her. Either way, the admission.
He couldn't believe, he couldn't fathom why him. So why he's sitting there, she was saying, "Why Hitman, why Goods?" Why are you fucking lying? Why are you lying? You was devastated that a regular nigga that used to work for sanitation, got a pension plan, got a 401k, that happens to rap, was able to overcome your manipulation, was able to.
Mission was clear. She emotionally checked out long ago. And Dice was a replacement. But Pap wasn't done. He leaned back, shook his head, and said, "I ain't perfect. I'm a man. I get tired. But I never cheated. Never. Stepped out, never embarrassed her. And for that, got traded in for a rapper that she put on." Okay? The irony was brutal. Pap, the same man who stood by Remy during her incarceration, raised their blended family and celebrated her comeback, now being painted as distant, cold, and emotionally unavailable. But the fans weren't buying the full shift. Nah, Pap's pain is real. You can see it. Remy can cry on live all day, but Pap came with facts. Y'all remember when he held her down for 6 years? Don't forget who built who. And just when viewers thought they'd seen the peak of the drama, Pap delivered one more devastating blow. He opened his phone, pulled up a screen recording, and played a voicemail. Remy's voice. From just a month ago. "You ain't even tried to fight for this. You just gave up. That's why Dice treats me better than you ever did." That was the final straw. Social media erupted. Comments, the blogs, even Remy's own fans were split down the middle. Some blamed Papoose for emotional neglect. Others slammed Remy for dragging her husband publicly, then getting caught twice by her own words. But the worst wasn't the voicemail. It was what Remy's stylist posted. Next, in a since-deleted tweet, stylist Janelle B., who had been working with Remy for years, posted, "Sometimes the one who cries loudest is just mad she got caught first. I tried to warn her." And just like that, the inner circle started turning. More people came forward. A makeup artist confirmed she hadn't been booked by Remy in over 3 months. A former assistant posted a shady quote about people blaming loneliness when they've been playing both sides. And in the middle of it all, Dice stayed quiet. Until midnight. Then he uploaded a photo that nearly broke the internet. It was a selfie, Dice and Remy, side by side in a black SUV, no kiss, no touching, just smirking into the camera with a caption that read, "Loyalty is earned, not assumed." That photo hit harder than any lyric he's ever dropped. It was confirmation. Not a rumor, not a whisper. It's proof that Remy had spent personal off-camera time with Dice and didn't care who saw it now. Papoose unfollowed Dice moments later. Then, in a rare move, Fat Joe entered the chat, going live on IG and telling fans, "This one hurts, man. I love both of them. Up, up." When love turns into war, it's always the fans who suffer. That's real. And fans were suffering. The couple they'd held up as the gold standard of black love was now fractured, bitter, exposed, with each side airing private messages, deep-seated pain, and unfiltered betrayal for the world to consume. But deep down, there was still one question everyone was asking. If Remy did it, why now? And what pushed her over the edge? That answer was coming soon, because someone close to Dice had just reached out to the blogs claiming to have recordings, text messages, and a whole different version of how this affair started, and if even half of it was true. Remy and Pap's story was about to go from heartbreaking to scandalous beyond repair, just when the internet thought it had witnessed the most dramatic unraveling in hip-hop relationship history. Another bombshell hit. An anonymous message was sent to 2 major T-pages complete with voice notes, timestamps, and text screenshots. The sender, someone claiming to be a former friend of Dice Flame, someone who had seen it all from day one. The first voice note dropped at 7:13 a.m. In it, the voice, allegedly Dice's ex, said this: "He told me everything. From the beginning, this was about power. Dice never cared about Remy. He cared about who she was. He said messing with her would put him in the rooms that matter." Let that sink in. This wasn't just about love. It was strategy. Calculated move by a hungry young rapper who knew exactly what he was doing. And the text messages that followed only made it worse. Text 1. "She ain't even hard to finesse." Pap got her doubting herself already. Text 2. "Once the blogs catch on, I'm lit. Either way. This ain't about her feelings. This about my future." Fans were stunned. The cute underdog love story that Remy hinted at during her meltdown now looked like a cold, heartless come-up from someone who played her emotions like chess. And the worst part? One of the voice notes included audio of Dice allegedly laughing and saying, "She gone, leave Pap, just watch. And when she do, I'm the one walking into that mansion." That clip shattered everything. The backlash was instant. Remy was vulnerable and got finessed. Dice used her for clout and dragged her into the mud. Pap might be cold, but he ain't fake. Dice is both. Within hours, Dice's following dropped by 30,000. His upcoming EP was flooded with negative comments. Sponsors pulled out of his show appearance. Even some of Remy's fans started demanding she cut all ties immediately. But there was a bigger issue now. Where was Remy? For nearly 48 hours after the voice note leak, she went silent. No posts, no lives. Just the quiet storm of fans speculating whether she'd finally realized she'd been used. Or if she'd double down and defend Dice out of pride. That silence ended on a rainy Sunday afternoon when Remy posted a black and white. And just like that, the saga of Remy and Papoose went from tabloid chaos to a cultural case study in fame, love, betrayal, and healing. Because in the end, this wasn't just about infidelity. This was about 2 people who held on too long. 2 hearts that grew apart while pretending to stand strong. And a third party who thought the spotlight was worth the destruction. Until the spotlight turned on him. Sometimes the most powerful story isn't the one with the most drama. It's the one where people walk away finally free. And there it is, the unfiltered truth. Behind the collapse of one of hip-hop's most legendary couples, from cryptic posts and leaked texts to emotional breakdowns and exposed betrayal, the Remy Ma and Papoose story reminded us all that even the strongest love can fall apart when trust is broken. And while Dice thought he was writing his come-up story, he ended up buried in the fallout. Now it's your turn. Do you think Remy was a victim of emotional manipulation? Was Papoose truly as distant as she claimed, or was she just rewriting the ending to justify her choices? And what about Dice? Was this all a play for fame from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want all the smoke. If you were locked in from start to finish, smash that like button, subscribe for more breaking celebrity drama, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next bombshell. Because in this game of fame, love, and loyalty, the truth always leaks. Stay tuned, stay messy, and as always, keep watching.